Katrina Brittingham, and co-host the incomparable Dr. The Real Deal Love, Edward Johnson. Sit back and relax while we give you advice and tips on business matters and matters of the heart for busy executives. And now, Katrina and Edward. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to High Tea with me. I'm Katrina Brittingham, your business coach and your navigator on your road to success. And we have the incomparable Dr. The Real Deal Love.
Hello, hello, hello.
All right, so we are here the last week of the month. The last time we met with you and we were before you, we talked about, are you ready for entrepreneurship? So, for those of you who decided, yes, I am, or maybe you need a little more planning, it's never too early to start your business plan.
Mm-hmm.
So, we are going to talk about the business plan. For those of you who have been in business for quite some time, it may be time for you to revisit your business plan if you did not do that at the end of 2022. All right, or the last quarter of 2022. So, business plans do exactly that. It helps you run your business, it helps you plan your business. A good business plan will guide you through each stage of starting and managing your business. You'll use your business plan as your roadmap or your GPS for how you structure, run, and grow your business, whether it is new or whether you have been in business for some time. It's a way to think through the elements of your business, the growth of your business, or if your business is not doing quite well, you can take a look and see why and start planning, find out what went wrong. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Business, you can find out even if you went off a plan and off a script during the year. Business plans can help you get funding because that's the first thing that investors ask for. They want to look at your business plan, they want to make sure your business plan makes sense. Or if you're bringing on new business partners, they want to know what they're getting into. Investors want to feel confident that they'll see a return on their investment. When people invest in you, they want to get their money back and they're going to talk to you about their money, whether it's 20%, 30%, however much they're going to take of your business once they invest. Also, if you have stocks with your business, people who buy your stock, they want a return on their investment. They're not just buying it because they're being nice, they want to get a return. So they
Mm-hmm.
want to make sure that you have a solid business plan. Your business plan is a tool to use that you use to convince people that you are working with, whether it's investing or whether it's someone working. Even employees look at your business plan. So it is a smart choice to have.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I'm going to ask this question, put you on the spot. Do you have a business plan, Dr. Love?
Yes, I do.
How often do you look at it?
Oh, Lord. I view it at least twice a year.
Okay.
Yep.
Because
And
business.
revise, and revise. There's some revisions that has to be made, with the business plan because things change.
Yes.
Systems change. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely have to, revise some things, revisit, with your business plan. So absolutely.
If you wasn't, I'm be like, you need to call
Mm-hmm.
me.
Mm-hmm. hmm the question is because I did it with someone early on. What should someone look to pay for a business plan? What are the numbers from what to
Hmm.
what?
We are going to get into that.
Okay.
We are going to get into that as far as the cost for having a business plan written.
Mm-hmm.
and options that you have. So that's a good question. We're going to put a pin in that.
We're going to let
So
you know.
yes, and he's always 10 steps ahead of me. So um as far as asking the right questions, I do want to take the time to let you know I have different screens going on for the different social medias. So if you see me looking over here, I am paying attention. I'm just looking at the other screens and monitors. All right. So now, before we talk about costs, we have to go into picking a business plan format that works for you because that depends on how much it's going to cost.
Mm-hmm.
As I'm saying, always the right questions. Always,
Mm-hmm.
always. All right. So when you're picking a business plan and a format that works for you, there are no right or wrong ways to write your business plan, so long as you're organized and you have certain things included in it that people know how your business is going to run. Your
Mm-hmm.
business plan should tell the picture overall of what your business is, who you're going to service, and how you're going to run it. All
Mm-hmm.
right. So your business plan falls into one of two common categories: a traditional business plan or a lean startup business plan.
Mm-hmm.
A traditional business plan will cost more because it's more detailed.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So they are more common. I tell people go with the more common one because when you go before investors, they're used to seeing business plans, and these are the ones that they're going to see most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it uses a standard structure. It encourages you to go into detail in each section, which investors want to see. They tend to require more work up front and cost more money up front and can be dozens of pages long. Lean startup business plans are less common. This is why you want to use the traditional. Because as we know, if something is less common, people are not going to necessarily look at it favorably, especially people who are have been in business for a while or doing business venture capital for a while. If it's
Mm-hmm.
not what they're looking for, they're going to scoot it over. It's sort of like your resume. There's a traditional type of resume. When people see other things, they start having question marks as to why you did not go with the standard. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They focus on summarizing only the most important points of the key elements of your plan. They can take as little as 1 hour to complete. And excuse me, I think I kicked my cord out from my computer and
Don't do
my computer
that.
is plugged me in. So I don't want it to get shut off. So excuse me for a minute.
Okay.
All right. All right. Technical difficulties. From monitor to
Okay.
monitor.
Okay. As long as we get
Because
you
I
plugged back in.
saw myself fuzz out when I tried to plug the computer.
Okay. Did you get it?
Uh, no, because my computer is going through some crazy things right now. Oh my
Okay.
goodness.
See, ladies and gentlemen, we're having a technical difficulty, but we will resume programming in just a few moments.
Okay. Huh. All right. We're going early and so I can try to work this out.
Mm-hmm.
And we will see you in 30 seconds.
From one-on-one executive coaching to our business building concierge service, Venture Ready helps entrepreneurs, startup executives, and business owners build, scale, and run their businesses using techniques that support stability and long-term growth. Through the Career GPS radio show and High Tea with Me TV program, we promote smart business strategies for the real world. Then, in our one-on-one coaching programs, we help entrepreneurs go beyond the vision board to realize their big vision into a tangible business with a promising future. If you're waiting to feel legit, here's the thing: you have to legitimize yourself. It's time to stop treating your business like a hobby. Get real, it's your career. So let me ask you, are you venture ready?
Are you venture ready?
Are you venture ready? And I hopefully am ready.
Or getting ready?
Let's see. All right. Well,
Are we getting there?
we might have a short program today. So, we're getting there. Um, so, we talked about having a lean business objective. So, what you want to do
Hmm.
is you want to be able to have certain sections. So, you want to have an executive summary, you want to have a company description, you want to do the market analysis. Uh, you want to do the market analysis. You want to have an organization and management schedule. All right, that's the leadership structure of your business. That should be in your business plan. That is so interesting. I don't know what is going on with my computer right now. Um, yeah, I'm not liking this at all. All right. I'm hoping you can see me.
I can see you.
Um,
It blacks out every once in a while. Yeah. So like
yeah,
you're
that's
there,
not good.
you're gone, then you come back on, but you're still gone now.
Okay. So, Dr. Love, while I'm getting this together, why don't you talk to the audience about your business plan and how you came to create it?
Well, in terms of the summary, it takes a lot of thought to go into creating a successful business plan. And my start was I started a lean survival machine. That's just starting with the plan, just starting the basics. And I had someone help me because I had no idea, what I was doing in creating the business plan. But when you structure uh, the business plan, basically going over all aspects of your business, the finances, the loans, uh, structuring the organization, the offices in the company. So I've really been, revisiting the plan so that I could basically know what I'm doing, where I'm going, and what my projections are. Okay. So in the relationship businesses, just targeting my customers so that I know When it comes down to customers, who is my customer and how will I service them? And all that is documented in the business plan. So when you start your business plan, you just want to kind of like pull all the aspects of your business together. Uh, when do you want to get started? How will you? Are you still there? How will you implement your day-to-day operation? Okay. When I started my business plan, I had my first salon. All the things that went into it in terms of studying the market. I had no idea what the market analysis was. Studying the geographics of my location. In other words, when you look at the market, how much of the market will I get? Um, if there's 1,000 women in this particular location, how many will I draw into my business? What is the share? What is my market share there? And then analysis. When it comes down to the customers in that area, are they financially capable of paying for my service? Okay, so when you start studying the market, uh, this market, can they afford your service? That was one of the things that I didn't really understand when I started in business. I went into an area. I started in Center City, and then I went to a neighborhood, and my price structure was a little expensive for where I went to. Where I came from, Center City, and then I'm in West Philadelphia, there was a discrepancy. So I had a financial catastrophe for a little bit until I really was able to get on my feet and start attracting the clients that could afford my service. So market analysis was just so important for me to learn because I didn't know it. I had to learn it.
And that's very important. That's part of your business plan, is finding out who your customer is, what your prices are going to be, and with the change, how you were going to pay your expenses, because your business was used to running off of a certain income from where you
Hmm.
were. Now, you might have been, excuse me, able to offset that with the office cost, because the office cost is different. Ooh, let me take a sip of water.
Hmm.
Don't know why I'm having all these problems. So I had to take out my handy dandy monitor. So that's what was causing the problems,
Got you.
um, because it was draining power. And so, because the computer was at a certain amount, I had to do that. So I just wanted to let y'all know what was going on.
Okay. What's going on?
I have to make sure that my computer is plugged in, which I thought it was. I must have knocked it out of the socket, because as y'all see, I move around a lot. So um, that's part of what your financial projection is, and that is a part of your business plan. With moving from one area to the next, and Dr. Love moved from one area of the city to the next, I moved from one state to the next.
Hmm.
And when you are moving, expenses are different. So you have to take a look at that. And also, your niche, trying to have people local here, because yes, I'm international, but I do want to get local clientele as well.
Hmm.
Being able to do that, what can they afford, what can't they afford? Okay, because if people can't afford your services, then they're not going to buy your services.
Hmm.
So once your business is already established, how you take a look at that is um, evaluating your income statements and your balance sheet and your cash flow statements for the last 3 to 5 years, if you have been in business that long, especially if you've moved. Like, so you have to evaluate, can I afford this move? If you had office space and say you moved the office space from Center City, you might still be doing work in Center City because you have to, pay that bill, as far as people being able to afford your services. You can also look at your income statement to see if you save on, okay, office space, um, equipment, travel, and things like that. Because you're more local, you might be able to afford that expenditure.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so for the first year, you may need to be more um, specific as far as your financial goals quarterly or even monthly, as far as what your projections are. As you grow, you can pull that out to maybe bi-yearly or a year. Okay, to make sure that you have a good picture and that you can clearly explain your projections and match them to the funds that you're requesting, if you're requesting loans or venture capital.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so with the traditional plan, we went through the fact that you had to have an executive summary to tell your reader what your company is and why it would be successful. You would include your mission statement, your products and services, and your basic information about your company's leadership team. If you're a solopreneur, information about yourself, any employees, and your location. You should also include financial information at a high level, as far as a growth plan. If you plan to ask for financing, that should be in your executive summary.
Mm-hmm.
Your company description just tells about your company, some detailed information, details about any problems that your business solves for the customers. You want to be specific and list out your customers. That's your market segment, organization, and your business. Um, your company, the businesses. If you serve businesses, your company plans to serve.
Mm-hmm.
Explain any competitive advantages that will make your business a success. There are experts on your team. Who are they? Have you found the perfect location for your business? If it's retail, your store. Your company description is the place to boast about your strengths, the strengths of the company. Dr. Love touched on the market analysis. So you have a good understanding of your industry outlook and your target market. So his target market were professionals in Center City. When he moved, that changed to professionals who were in the inner city.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you want to do competitive research. So one of the things that he had to look at is, who are my competitors in the city? Who are my competitors in the inner city? What are their strengths? How do I differentiate myself from them? Okay. He looked for trends and themes with some help. Um, and so you have, what do your successful competitors do in Center City? What do my successful competitors do in the inner city? And why does it work? Can you do better than them? Explain
Mm-hmm.
how you can do better than them. Okay. So we talked about your legal structure, whether you want to be a S corp or a C corp. With this type of corporation, is a different type of tax. It is also, you can sell stock from your company. These are the only places that you can sell stock. You
Mm-hmm.
can form a general or a limited partnership, or if you're a sole proprietor, you can set up as a sole proprietor. This is the time where you can actually name the company after yourself. Your
Mm-hmm.
first name, your last name, business. Okay. If you're a limited liability company, you can be a sole proprietor as a limited liability company. That would be Katrina Brittingham, LLC.
Mm-hmm.
But you can also be a limited liability company where you're not a sole proprietor or plan to remain a sole proprietor, and then you can have a business name. Also, it'll be business name, insert name here, LLC.
Mm-hmm.
So, depending on your plan and what you have, you want to lay out your organizational chart. Who's in charge of the company? Who's next in charge? Do you have treasurers? Do you have a charter? Do you have VPs? Do you have directors? Do you have managers? All the way down to the line staff. Okay. Now, organizational chart does not necessarily have to have a person's name in it because maybe you need to fill it. But you would have the title of what it is and then put to be determined or looking to fill, something like that. So
Mm-hmm.
people know that you have someone that is going to fill that key position. All right. We talked about your products and services and what you do. You want to look at what your product life cycle looks like if you have a product. If you have a service, you want to have stuff like that in there. Share your plans for intellectual property, like your copyright or patent, your trademarks, and things like that. So you want to make sure that you are as detailed as possible in that section. For marketing and sales, you want to put your marketing and sales strategy. For funding, you want to make sure that you are specifying what type of funding you are looking for. You want to clearly explain how much funding you need over the next 5 years and what you'll use it for. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Specify whether you want debt or equity in terms of how you would like it applied. So if you are going for a loan, that is debt. If you have an investor, that's equity because as your business grows, you're going to be paying out from the income or equity
Mm-hmm.
of your business.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
How
So
does that work with, just a quick question, how does that work with grants? That's something that I really haven't dove into, but with grants, this
a
is
grant is not a debt or an equity.
okay.
A grant is a, for lack of a better word, a gift.
Okay.
But you have to follow the details within the grant. If you don't, then it is subject to be payable and will turn into a debt.
Okay.
Okay. And some grants can be a year, it could be 6 months, it could be a one-time small grant that is put into your business and it is considered income. So it is something that you do have to report on your taxes. And the government will take their cut.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But if you're talking about getting a grant, that's a whole nother program, and we can do another program on that
Mm-hmm.
because it's a lot that goes into that, where you
A
have to
lot.
register and all of that stuff, which I have done, and it is a process. You want to specify if you're going to use this debt or equity funding for equipment or materials to pay salary, to cover specific bills and revenue increases. And you always include a description of your future strategic financial plans, like paying off debt or selling your business if you decide to sell your business. Now, going back to the grants, a good example of that would be the PPP funding and the EDIL funding. The PPP was a loan, but it was a forgivable loan if you followed the plan. And when, if you did, it became a grant. So you didn't have to pay it back.
Mm-hmm.
Loan money, you have to pay back. Investor money, you pay back out of your equity. A grant, you do not have to pay back.
Mm-hmm.
So with the EDL, part of it was a loan and part of it was a grant,
Mm-hmm.
which they did not explain too well.
Mm-hmm. A loan
Um,
grant combination.
correct.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and everything like that. And I know from personal because I did apply for the EDIL and it was explained to me as a grant. So then next thing
Mm-hmm.
you know, he's like, oh, you got to pay it back. I'm like, no, this was a grant. So then I go back and I'm like, they're like, oh, well, part of it was, they have the language on there now because I
Mm-hmm.
remember reading it and everything like that because I pay attention to what I'm signing up for. That it was the way they had it is was sort of like PPP, and I think they mixed the language up, is that if you followed these things, it would turn into a grant. And I said, I know
Hmm.
that that's what they said. Now they're like, oh, well, no, this part is a loan, this part is a grant. You don't have to
Hmm.
pay this part back, but you have to pay this part back.
Okay, that's right. Very confusing. It was very confusing.
Very, very confusing. And it would have been, it would have sold me or not sold me on it. So it would have been a decision making thing
Hmm.
for it. But in order to get what they called the EDIL forgivable part, you had to get the loan first. So
Hmm.
it just is what it is. Um, and maybe I still would have gotten it, but at least I would have been put a little more prepared
Hmm.
for it. Um, it's not that big of an expense, but still, I always like to know when I have to pay something out.
In business, you want to know all those,
Exactly.
all your
Um,
expenses.
so you want to have financial projections and everything like that. You want to convince whoever is reading your business plan, including yourself, that the business will be stable, okay, financially stable. All right. You want to have established your income statements, your balance sheet, your cash flows, your statements for the last 3 years if you've been in business long enough. If you have any collateral, you can put up against any loans that needs to be in your business plan as well. All right. Try to have a perspective financial outlook for the past 5 years, included forecasted income and everything like that for your year. Capital expenditures. That's what you're going to be spending for the year within that year of your business. All right. So finally, we have the appendix. You want to use the appendix to provide supporting documentation and other materials, um, especially if they request anything else. Common items include its credit histories, personal and business resumes of your history of working or you're working in your business, product pictures, letters of reference from customers, licenses, permits, patents, legal documents, and other contracts that you may have that will affect the business financially. All right. So that is the traditional plan. A lean plan is a little bit smaller. So you would have any key partnerships that we explained, any key activities, any key resources. So you can leverage value for your customer by including your staff, any capital or intellectual property. Don't forget to leverage, and you can do this in a traditional plan um, for services that might be available to women, veterans, Native Americans, and hub zone businesses. You can also put, if you are a certified minority business, that will help you with grants and things like that. If you're a woman owned business, if you're a veteran owned business, they have grants and things that are set aside with the government and other places specifically for these groups. Okay. So you want to have your value proposition, a clear and compelling statement about the unique value your company brings to the market, your customer relationships. All right. Is it automated or is it personal? Is it hands on? Is it in person or is it online? Think through the customer experience from start to finish because you will have to map that out. Your
Hmm.
customer segments. Be specific with your target market, your channels, which is the way you talk to your customers through social media, over the phone, through your website, through email. You want to break all of that down. Your call structure, all right. Um, Focus on how you'll be reducing costs and maximizing value. Define your strategy and list that. And then we have revenue streams, which we have gone through. And that is the lean plan. So as you can see, it's not as much, it's not as detailed when you come to this. My suggestion is if you're going for financing and funding A traditional plan will cover everything that you need, and you won't have to worry about if you're missing any pieces.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Going back and circling back, because we're actually almost at the end, I do again apologize for the technical difficulties, and it will not be that way going forward. Um, is how much a business plan will cost you. A lean business plan will probably be cheaper. It actually depends on who's writing it for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It depends on how much experience for some, how much they charge. Okay. It depends on how quick you need the business plan as well. Like if you need a rush, people may add to that. For In my opinion, if you have a lean business plan, that's probably somewhere between $125, maybe, um, or more. All right. For a traditional plan, I've seen them as low as 200 for a good one, $250 to over $2,000. And again, that depends on how detailed your business is. It depends on if you're a startup or if you're already in business. Someone like myself who has multiple businesses under one umbrella, Ventureready LLC is the parent company of about 3 or 4 companies.
Mm-hmm.
My business plan is going to be a whole lot more detailed. So I'm looking at if I have someone write it, if I wasn't adept to write my own, and be in business, a business coach, and know how to write business plans, I'm probably looking at least $2,000 to get my business plan written,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm talking about at least.
Okay.
So that answers your question. I know we went a long way to it, but I had to go through all of these things so you could understand where the cost comes in,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to having a business plan and having it written. Is not really a simple answer,
Mm-hmm.
um, because it really depends on the type of business plan, your business, how much stuff you have added in. And generally, the longer you've been in business, you have more documentation to add.
Mm-hmm.
So it is going to be a different expense.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if you're a lean business, like if you're doing um, social media marketing or something like that, um, what they call it, influencer, and you're just online, and that's your
Mm-hmm.
vision for right now. It may not cost that much, because it's not that much in there, but be an influencer that went viral, and now you have products, and now you have endorsements and stuff like that. All of that stuff may um, be more,
Mm-hmm.
depending on what you have, your projections, what you plan to do. Some businesses also have, and that's my plan eventually, to have a nonprofit foundation, where I'm providing grant money or grant assistance, charities and stuff like that. That all goes into your business plan,
Mm-hmm.
and everything like that. So that makes it bigger, and then you'll have another one for the actual charity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it really
What,
depends.
one more question I wanted you to get in there is
Mhm.
what do you for someone who's going to help you or write your business plan, what should you look for from them in terms of their experience, their credentials, their qualifications?
Good question. Number one, the first thing that you want to do, and I do this with any company, when you're vetting someone, ask for references.
Mm-hmm.
Check those references. Make sure that they are clients, that they actually had. Ask for clients that you can call and speak to. Um, Take a look at their resume, ask them for a resume of their own. Make sure that they have business experience. Um, you know, because you have writers out there, and people can be great writers. It doesn't mean that they have the research skills and the knowledge to do the research for you, because I've had some people when I got a little lazy, um, to try to write my resume, but it is like an extended resume, to
Hmm.
write my business plan. And they were like, okay. So I'm like, okay, what is the process? Oh, well, I'll write it for you because I'm a writer, but you have to provide the market research. You have to. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I thought you said you wrote business plans. Oh, I do, but I don't do any of the research and stuff because I don't know anything about business. That was the end of the conversation. And
Hmm.
I was just like, I'm just going to write it myself. If I have to do all the work, then why am I hiring you?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
everything like that to do the business plan. So you want to vet them. You want to ask them questions. Have you been in business? For some people, have you worked in my area? Are you a coach? I'm a coach writing a business plan. Do
Hmm.
you have experience with writing for coaches? Number one, do you have experience in coaching? Do you know anything about the industry? Um, how long is the turnaround time for this? Um, you want to make sure that they know how to write good grammar, that they understand finances, that they understand how to put together a SWOT analysis, that they understand what investors are going to be looking for in the different sections. So you just want to make sure that the person is experienced.
Hmm. Good answer.
Yeah. Yeah, and that changes by the industry. If you're a finance per company, you want to see if they have experience writing finance business plans. If
Hmm.
your retail, do they have experience with that? You want to make sure that they do have the qualifications to do it.
Hmm.
I've had people hand me business plans that people wrote for them, and I'm like, well, where is this section? And they're like, oh, you didn't need that in there. No, if the section is there, you need to complete it,
Hmm.
and everything. But it was because the person didn't have the experience,
Hmm.
and everything like that. So I've redone business plans that other people have had done with people who were skilled writers but didn't have the business experience,
The experience.
or even because what I'll say is, even if the person has the gumption to do it, okay, I might not know it, but let me look up what a SWOT analysis is.
Hmm.
Okay, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, da, 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 da. Okay, that's part of the market research. What would be the strengths for this type of environment? What would be the opportunities? What would be the weaknesses? What would be the threats? The only thing I would say that you should have, because no one can write that for you, is your mission, your value proposition, and your vision. Those are
Hmm.
yours.
Hmm.
No one should be writing those for you
Hmm. Yeah.
because it's your vision, it's not
Right.
theirs.
Yeah, they can help you, you know what I'm saying? Because that was something that had big. What is your vision, statement? What is your mission statement,
Mhm.
And there again, it's like how do you word, what you see your business delivering to the public, So they can
Right.
help you, but like you said, it's your vision.
And that is a difference between wordsmithing and them creating it.
Hmm.
Like you can have an idea, say, okay, this is what I have, and have something written out. They can wordsmith it, make it sound wonderful.
Hmm.
But they should not be giving you what your overall vision is. That's your
Hmm.
vision. And that's what I tell people. Like, I can help you with that, but this isn't Katrina's company. It's not Katrina's vision.
Hmm.
Because when you do that, you'll have somebody write something and be like, that's not even what I wanted.
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
not
Hmm.
that's not what I envisioned. Yeah,
Hmm.
because you didn't write the vision.
Yes, that's right.
So that's what it is. Have I answered all of your questions, Dr. Love?
Yes, yes, you've answered all of them remarkably.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome. And we are at that time. Woo, we are at that time.
Yes, very eventful, very eventful.
So we do thank you so much for joining us for this episode, this crazy episode of High Tea with me. But it shows, again, as an entrepreneur, things happen, things that you don't expect
Hmm.
happens and you have to adjust on the fly.
On the
When
fly.
you are live and everything like that, things happen and you have to just go with the flow. Um,
Hmm. Always knowing that we always get better. We
yes,
always
yes,
get better.
yes, yes. And thank you so much for joining me and Dr. Love for this last episode of the first month of the year. So we will see you in February with the love topic. Bye bye. Thank you for joining us for another episode of High Tea with Me. To be a sponsor or a guest, contact us at info@ventureready.com.